game, but I don't think they have the better draft. All right, final thought.
I would say it's just the execution for Liquid 2 in this game will be exceptional. If they do it, it'll be one of those like damn type of moments.
Well, very excited to get into the action, but first we go backstage with Nomad.
Oh my god, the battle's about to start! Relax, Morty. Relax. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Cuddle in. Cuddle in with me.
Thank you so much, Nomad, coming into the first of two upper bracket semifinals here. Liquid against Spirit. Love a nice little fun chuckle to an interview right there.
Yeah. Oh, always. What is that guy Blitz doing? What is he up to? Haven't seen him in a while. Definitely helping the team. Probably
all the coaches on that team.
Yeah, it gets very difficult when you have too many cooks in the kitchen. But so far, it's been working out for Liquid and Spirit. Honest Dota, honest draft. This is how they play. We've seen this combination between Keeper of the Light and Underlord play by Tidebound. It didn't work out for them, and it was exactly the same lane that they were playing when Paravision ran Terrorblade plus Ringmaster. So we are having kind of a 4 heroes, and we already know the outcome, but I think this time around Team Spirit will be playing better, because you're playing as Underlord. Your hero doesn't really do much at these early stages. You're also going to be playing it a lot of slow, and they're going to swap things around because of that. They're going to put El.Pudgge so that he can remove Terrorblade with Glimpse, make sure that he's not going to be chasing that Underlord compared to Keeper of the Light, who doesn't have that much defense. Sure, you can put a point in Blinding Light, but you also want to be having something different. So it's going to be swapping between position 4 and 5, and want to see how that one's going to be working out.
It's definitely interesting to see, of course, with the Impalement arts as well as the Reflection. That does a decent amount of damage, and you can see it right here. El.Pudgge, he gets low, he's dead. Mickey getting first blood from the side of Liquid, so Disruptor or Coddle, at least for the moment, doesn't seem to matter.
That's the downside of Underlord. This hero, a lot of the times, it does feel like he's good for the game, but he does struggle. Even though Collapse did play it, and I really like the itemization that he was going for, and also to point out, Underlords nowadays are going for different facets. They're going for Demon's Reach compared to going for the Summons, going for the Necro Books. So you will have AoE, you will have that extra bit of a cleave, which is going to come in handy against Brewmaster, against EV and his illusions, even Beastmaster and his Summons.
Have ways to deal with their illusions, and you know, if you had had Ringmaster, maybe you would have the access to Spotlight, of course, but not in a situation like this. Mid lane, it's Beastmaster against Ember.
Not a fun one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
With those extra units.
Yeah. I was gonna say, why isn't it fun though? Is it just the extra units?
It is quite a lot. You have 2 boards, extra 50 damage. You also have more damage than him, so kind of gets difficult. Ember Spirit, one of the heroes that a lot of the times, especially because he's first phase, so you can choose the matchups. A lot of the times there are a lot of options available for you to counter the hero. But this is the hero that can recover of it. And I think this time around as well, Spirit will be playing a lot on stacks. You have Keeper of the Light, you have Underlord as well, even Ember Spirit. These are the heroes that love to abuse the stacks. You can see that Collapse is struggling, as expected.
Too much of a surprise, and level 2 in the Reflection already doing work here in the bottom lane, but top, don't talk too much about it. The Abaddon with the Coddle against the Dark Willow Brewmaster.
The lanes that we see, especially Abba plus Keeper of the Light, this is something that Nightfall really likes to play. Carry Abba. Usually you need Null Talisman on Carry Abba because mana has been nerfed pretty heavily on the hero, so you need some kind of mana regen. When you're playing with Coddle, you can skip that, so you're basically saving 500 gold. One of the reasons why he's going to be going for Orb of Corrosion, extra bit of slow immediately, into phase, into Radiance, Manta style.
Let's see how quickly he gets into the Radiance Manta style. Mid lane, Nisha putting some damage here on the Laurel. It's a little bit of a back and forth. We'll see if any of the supports come over. Dark Will, always a good candidate to come through and try and make a play over mid, especially pre-6, when you have to avoid that Bramble Maze.
For Courier.
Nobody making the move just yet. Maybe expected around the 6-minute mark. Firestorm down into midgame, but collapses low. Glimpse back into the pit of Malice. Insania on here with the reflection. And they should be able to get another kill on a collapse. Miposhka doesn't have a lot of health, but he won't die. However, getting that second kill for Mickey and this one on collapse feels really good for Liquid.
It really does. Something so satisfying about killing the Underlord. For me, throughout history of Dota, Lord back then, Shadow Fiend and Luna, especially Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend was my first one. You just go on top of him, you kill him. Underlord kind of feels the same way.
Just giving him nowhere to kind of stretch his multitude of legs.
Maybe I'm a little bit of a hater knowing that Underlord's model compared to like when he was Pit Lord. I think this model kind of looks wonky. I think we should definitely do something with Morphling, definitely do something with Underlord.
So you're kind of hoping for like the Razor treatment, right? Knock that Arcana that makes it look like the older model. Collapse again, in some trouble. Tame the Beast, but the Firestorm doing some decent damage. One shot from dead, and all of a sudden, Mickey, he's gonna die here to Miposhka, and Collapse survives.
All these tanky items, Bracer, Double Gauntlet, which is gonna turn into Soul Ring and Magic Wand, manages them to get the kill. This is exactly what you need. Even if you trade your support to get some extra bit of levels on your Underlord, definitely worth it. But yeah, pretty big kill for Team Spirit.
Really big kill to get. Oof, gosh. Both Impalement Arts and the Tame the Beast 202 build, and that is some big damage numbers from Insania early.
Keeping Nisha. Nisha is the one who did use his beast to put it in the bottom. Then a Circus Master is the one who's controlling the beast, and Nisha is going to get a double kill. This is the move that I don't know if I've seen it in quite some time.
Perhaps is just in here. He runs him down, and Insania there's an Impalement Arts over at Miposhka. Yeah, they get the kill with the Primal Roar. They had the Bramble Maze from the Dark Will, like I said, looking to come over towards mid. And so far, mid and bottom looks really good. Yeah, the tempo is so fast. Into the Shadow Realm and paused for a moment.
A bit of a Kale.
I thought we
might be going to Shadow Realm.
Zawirldoed, and we're stuck in time.
Level 3 Keeper of the Light. If you get a boar on top of him, he's definitely dead. This is exactly what they need. They need the Nisha to be able to explode, to get his Aghanim Scepter timing, which also opens up the Roche for you. You have DB, so you have more than enough damage. And also it does relieve some of the pressure. It's not like they're pressuring Brewmaster with Coddle as position 5. You can always run away. There's not enough damage to kill you. So all 3 lanes going pretty well for Team Liquid.
TPing over the Underlord for this. Collapse commits to the TP, and there's really not much.
He's not coming to help. He was there to be able to get some extra farm in the mid lane. And
maybe he should have been there to help, because Varl's just dead.
Everybody's trying to get some farm. 2k gold lead. This has to be almost like 3k gold lead for Team Liquid. 7 kills. Also, in terms of playmaking potential, there isn't really that much inside of Spirit. You need to have your Ember Spirit who's going to be able to make stuff happen. But he's also level 5. Nisha is getting closer to level 8, so pretty big difference already.
He's off to the races, and so is Mickey, who had a couple of kills over bottom. He's 3-1
middle tower
in this Terrorblade. I mean, that just makes it so much more of an open game overall for Saberlight as well, who wants this Radiance. Life just gets so much easier for Liquid when we've got this abusive pressure. See how quickly they could get into the Ags.
I like what Saberlight is doing. You know that he's 1 CS from level 6, trying to play a bit more aggressive, maybe even use that Primal Split.
Uses it knowing there's no borrowed time for the moment on Radon. Can he get the kill? Pushka's here, they'll throw the rock, they'll get the stun, the Bramble Maze connects. And Abaddon in some trouble with the Shadow Realm strike from Foxy. It's head damage, and the Void Panda pulls him back out of the hands of his former self. Combined, they get the kill on Radon.
That was such a good play from Saberlight. He was definitely also thinking.
Collapse again.
Another dead.
He's in once more. 9-1 in favor of Liquid.
And Naru is in trouble.
He showed up. He wanted to help out. And Abaddon ended up dying anyway, so now you're back into the Shadow Realm. You'll throw big damage on Taru, and this kinetic field is not going to do anything. But Pudgge shows up, they'll have another TP, Radon's back into the fight. You don't have Primal Split, but do you have the damage? Saberlight doesn't want to go under the tower, so he'll go north. But can he avoid? He's dying in this situation. Kinetic fields again, Saberlight locked up for a moment, but the Phantom Maze gives him a moment to kind of collect himself, and he does, like you said, have that Lotus. Radon's also not level 6 again, so maybe if there's a +1, they can get a big turnaround, but instead the +1's coming for Spirit, where they've used this ulti from the Underlord, and they should eventually get Saberlight, but this is amounts of space almost unheard of. And I say he got Saberlight, but now he's so quick that he just runs away. I thought he was dead. TP attempt.
He's hexed.
Oh my god.
Saberlight, he's out of there. I really like the fact that Brewmasters from the offlane, they don't buy Boots of Speed. And because of his items, he definitely survives. He buys so much time. You saw that Nisha, he's farming in the triangle. He has 2 components for his Aghanim Center, breaking the ankles. All right, all the Saberlight haters, where you at right now?
A track star. I mean, he ran a country mile to escape that. They even go as far as to using the Fiend's Gate to try and cut him off. And he just turns around. That is
Drunken Master,
so much space.
Using Drunken Brawler, getting brewed up as well. Everything was perfect from Brewmaster there.
Yeah. Really making loads of space. Kinds of space you'd see only in the trunk of a truck.
He was fighting for so long.
He's got Primal Split again. He got level 6 of Radon, but do you survive? He got some help this time. They think about the Terrorize. They've also got Rue here. They'll glimpse back at least the Dark Willow. Boxy's dead. This time, not as good, but there was a lot more rotations from Spirit.
Oh boy, Dyer's
close to this axe for Nisha already. He's putting pressure on the tier 1 tower. This is a 4,000 net worth lead, and look at this. Just the ending, hitting him with the bing bong.
And he missed him. He missed him there as well. I don't think it would be enough. Like, wow, who is this guy? This guy's pretty good. I thought he wanted to clap for him.
Yeah. Little hand rub. The excitement coming out of the fingertips. Space and time. Some may understand it. All that space and time, you look at the net worth difference between the Terrorblade, the Beastmaster, and everybody else. It's a huge lead.
Hey, no, he doesn't have ulti. Immediately playing aggressive on him.
18 seconds till he's got it. Mika's here. Ailment Arts, Reflection used, Radon in trouble, the Roar committed, and that's another kill for the side of Liquid. It's 11-2, and climbing towards a 5,000 net worth lead. Looking so far perfect. I mean, a lot done here by Liquid. I mean, Spirit coming in were huge favorites for so many people, but Liquid say don't disrespect us with those numbers.
They're playing it so crisp, moving across the map so quickly. They managed to kill Laurel 2 times in a row. He needs to be the one, like, playing with the supports, playing with that chakra magic to be able to do stuff. Maybe there's going to be like a recall, twin gate rotation. So they wanted to try to outnumber Team Liquid, but Team Liquid is also very good at reading map movement, knowing that El.Pudgge was there, so Boxy's going to continue to stack up one more time for his Beastmaster. Nisha.
Here comes the money when you're able to get that. Once you got that axe on Nisha, you're probably getting a lot more gold out of it. El.Pudge still level 5. He would love Static Storm. 400, 300 gold away from this axe. And then just look at all this gold to come.
That's even before clearing those stacks.
Yeah, and probably like what? Clear the big camp, get the axe, clear the ancient stack?
Yeah, they could also go for Roche relatively early on. Once they pick up that Aghanim Scepter, this is also going to be a good amount of XP for Boxy. And look what Boxy's doing. He is disassembling his Tranquil Boots. Still has that available. It's a lot of work, but he is a professional e-athlete that gets paid money to play the video game, so he's investing a couple of extra clicks per minute.
Eggs is on the courier. Nisha ready to become the little drummer boy. Drums song just feels so good. This hero has felt like one of the strongest throughout the tournament. Especially given a faster than average hags by about 2 minutes, you know you're rolling. And the thing about that is, like, usually it's just Beastmaster, right? Having a good game like this.
Look at
right
timing. It's also right before 15 minutes, so they can take Roshan on Radiant's side. And you could see Team Spirit also using Scan in the middle of Roach Pit. Oxy, sort of initiated on.
And the Static Storm with the kinetic deal, but they've got the Escape Act, and now you've used that first ult from the Disruptor for kills.
He assembled his Tranquil Boots again. Have that ready. Go back to half HP immediately. Now without Static Storm, Liquid, they want to play aggressive.
Finally get this tower. Nisha, who already got himself the Ags, is already up with 1,300 more gold. He is just farming out of control. So is Mickey. I mean, he had a perfect start. He was 3-1 in lane, now he's 4-1-1. Quite a bit. Fiend's Gate was used to collect both shrines for Collapse. I mean, that's one of the ways to get back into it, to slow the XP lead here for the side of Liquid. Or, yeah, for Liquid.
However, their high ground defense is very good. Keeper of the Light, Underlord, all about stalling the game as much as they can. They managed to cement this for 5k gold lead in the last 5, maybe even 6-7 minutes. Earth didn't lose too much. They've been heavy on the stacking duty in the triangle. Keeper of the Light keeping to Collapse just to give him extra bit of mana so he can start to scale as well. He is still more farmed than Brewmaster, who didn't die a single time, and Collapse did die 3 times.
Tower is under attack.
To be fair, Saberlight did spend about 2 minutes running away. And just forcing rotations. You don't really get to farm when you're in that situation. Probably the most significant difference between the two. Yeah, Collapse and Firestorm getting a lot under his belt.
Because Radiant just fortified.
They're starting to extend that lead a little bit. They've got this Manta style. They're looking for the Shard on Terrorblade. They did just get themselves a Tormentor, so Shard for Insania.
Nisha, he's so farmed. 16 minutes. Blink Dagger, Aghanim Scepter treads, and you can see
4
timing.
faster. Not a record. I mean, I guess you're going Blink first on some builds. See again, Searing Chains, but nothing really doing.
Finally, he's not going to be able to disassemble them anymore. Bringing in the numbers, Saberlight is very close to his Radiance. Would definitely love to have this one for the fight.
You're gonna deny that amplify damage. He's got the Demon Zeal, he's got the Manta style, he should be ready to fight. Nisha's got Blink Primal Roar ready to rumble with. They've got a smoke on Boxy, so they should be looking to smoke, and that is going to be happening at the same time as 3 heroes on the side of Spirit. They've also smoked up. They do have Fiend's Gate to join the fight on. Maybe they go up towards Abaddon, who would maybe join them. But while the smoke breaks, Boxy goes up onto the high ground side of Fist Searing Chains. Nisha blinks forward, but can't find the Roar. Fiend's Gate even thought about Spotlight down, Primal Roar, and Static Storm. It's going to be on the Nisha. He's in some trouble, but the Wheel of Wonder is there for a little bit of a defense. The Terrorize thrown out as well. But this is Nisha trying to run with the Escape Act. He can't get far enough away. They go to the Thunder. Can they get the Collapse? The Curse Crown won't even be needed to pop. They've used this Primal Split. They're going to chase some of these targets. The Void Panda pulls him back, but the Slight is there. They hit the Fear with the Tame the Beast and get the kill on Laurel. Double kill for Mickey, but they do lose Nisha for that exchange.
It was overall a good fight for Spirit, showing that they can still fight back. With this Mage Slayer and Pipe combination, the amount of damage that you do reduce is pretty nuts, and there's a lot of magic damage coming up from the Beastmaster, coming up from the Radiance as well, but Terrorblade, he gets the Sunder. He's the killer of these tanky boys. We saw that so many times throughout the tournament. The Bristleback, he gets close, he gets sundered, immediately dies afterwards. Something to be careful about. He's also building into all of the auras, it seems. Underlord going for Crimson Guard next.
Pudgge gonna take over this Watcher. Saberlight dies.
Gator was also his Radiant's timing is also a bit delayed, so we definitely love to have that in the previous fight. Good against Blade, of course, even though you can use it against you, but still, you do have Radiance on Brewmaster, which doesn't stack. Saberlight. He's a tanky boy.
Yeah, very tanky. Currently in the Earth Brawler. Pulled back with the glimpse. The Pit of Malice is there. The Firestorm. How tanky is he? TP out on Boxy. They know they're going to lose Saberlight, but it is 5 heroes and a lot of time to kill one.
This is something that Spirit needs to use. Go for these recall plays. Gauge, try to get something done on the map, and I think overall Spirit is in a relatively good spot, even though they're 6k, 7k gold down. As soon as they get hands on the next item, fights are going to be so much easier. All going for his BKB, Keeper of the Light, 1700 gold away from Aghanim Scepter. 40% win probability. I would give it even slightly more. I would give it like 45-55 for Liquid, even though there's a massive gold lead right now. They still weren't able to really capitalize on that. They managed to kill all the tier 1 towers. They killed Tormentor. Roshan still up to be grabbed.
You get that Roche though, probably an Aegis on the Beastmaster. We usually see that first Aegis for them. See if that's the case. We're shown some of the items across the board, and Rue is only 1,400 gold away from having his axe on this Keeper of the Light. This time around, they find Boxy. Look for the Terrorize that lands on Alarl. The Bramble Maze, the Bedlam, not doing a lot of damage, but the Primal Split's going to be committed. And then Saberlight sticking with, has the stun. Good Panda pulls Alarl back, but don't really have enough to get this, and collapse, waiting for a moment that maybe they come back and Pit of Malice and start to Firestorm. A little bit of a delay. It's still opening up space and time for Nisha and Mickey to continue to farm. Is that going to be enough?
Oh boy, Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Burrow's starting to make his way back. Radiance going into the Manta style, needs a lot of gold for that, but they do have glimpse ready to go. Escape Act. And out of the box, you come right in front of the side of Team Spirit. So another kill there for you, Toro. Getting the kill onto Insania.
They have a good amount of sustain. Yeah, Mickey is farming. Mickey is sitting at 13,000 gold, 3k gold ahead of Yatoro. But still, Yatoro is recovering nicely. Level 14 on his Abba, even though he died 3 times. Relatively keeping up.
Ever got that roar off.
Radiant's bottom tower is completely gone.
Jumped in with the blink roar, but now TPing towards top. That was definitely not the plan, with Metamorphosis getting committed there. As much of a matter as they could just farm with it, but you can see slowly but surely Spirit, they are starting to take more of the map. They're starting to farm up quite a bit and fight into this net worth lead with a pick off here or there and some farm around the map.
Holds himself. There's a lap, so everybody is farming. They're stealing some of the ancient stack.
Roar. There's a Psalm, and
solo kill.
That is a solo kill for Nisha. Takes the back end of that stack, and then we'll take this big camp stack as well. It is closing in on that BKB. El.Pudgge going into a hand of Midas, knowing that this game's going to go, or thinking that this game's going to go pretty long.
He knows the high ground defense is pretty damn insane. You're trying to go through, you're going to get Kinetic Field, Pit of Malice, very difficult, slight Chakra Magic, Firestorm. Probably one of the better high ground defenses we've seen in some time. Tidebound did have pretty similar lineup, but we didn't really see them defending the high ground. It was more like, we're going to lose the fight, and then the game is pretty much over. This is what I want to see from Liquid. I want to see this Roshan. I think they maybe had a chance to take it slightly earlier, considering the time on that Aghanim Scepter on Beastmaster, but Beastmaster now has BKB available.
Relatively safe, and Liquid gonna move forward. Cinder Brew, Bramble Maze, Impalement Arts onto El.Pudgge. There's a second dagger flying his way. And quite low, but ends up queuing up a little bit. Though landing away and back in and back away from Laurel. They do find in this corner, though. They find El.Pudgge.
Blinding Light.
Roar is going to be used on Laurel. The Blinding Light keeps El.Pudgge alive for a little bit longer, but he ends up dying. The Terrorized throw. They've got the fear. It's on Laurel. The chase is is on, the damage is there, they'll take it a second. But do they have enough to turn this around? Yatoro trying to think if he can stand forward, but the blink in from Saberlighter. Brewmaster's starting to do quite a bit to collapse. Yatoro, he wants to come, he wants to help, but he actually walks forward now with a Methodic Shield and the borrowed time.
He's ready.
He'll at least try to commit to this, but they have the Sunder. Rue, he recalled right next to this Abaddon, and that's a big problem. They'll get a kill to this Abaddon and look for Rue, who's going to be hit with the Cursed Crown.
Another Will-O-Wisp, but it's not enough. They don't have enough damage. I want to see damage dealt by Mickey in the previous fight. Him and Saberlight, damage numbers have to be pretty high. And Rue will finish off Saberlight. 5,000 damage from Brewmaster. They invested pretty heavily onto Disruptor. Miposhka cornered himself, and with his innate ability, he's pushing them away. They were unable to kill him instantly. Still, that Radiance Burn is dealing quite a lot of damage on multiple heroes. It does feel like if Mickey's having a free cast in terms of like attacking people, using multiple reflections, it's going to be way too much damage. And in terms of control, if there's no Static Storm, he's going to be fine.
Calling Laurel over. Escape acting and Will-O-Wisp for the sleep. Insania can't quite get away, and Laurel's going to have an easy kill there. There's a couple times where these Coddles, they jump in with the recall next to their allies, and it's a tough position to be in. Roche still alive after that big fight. They didn't back up Go for Roche. They didn't have Saberlight still up. They were kind of low coming out of it. Didn't commit for that Aegis. So that objective's still there, and the net worth lead only expanding by about 2K. However, it's a lot of gold on Mickey as well as Nisha.
Every single time nothing's happening, Team Spirit, they're gaining a little bit of gold compared to Team Liquid. Because Liquid, they're moving together, while on the other side, Spirit, they're not trying to get as much farm as possible. And look at this almost like perfect square. 90-degree angles. What was that? That was yellow. Moxie, I assume.
I don't know how people draw so well on the map. My hand is too shaky for that. We're gonna meet, it looks like. 4-man smoke. Nearby, he's got a boar. Goro moving forward, and he's reflected on immediately. They go to the Primal Split. Croaker with the Ravage. Primal Roar comes through, trying to get the kill here on the Disruptor. They've got the kill. They're taking the Coddle. Down goes Miposhka, but the damage from Nisha is going to be enough with BKB. Borrowed time is popped on Yatoro. Collapses in and collapses dead. He takes so much damage here. They're slamming. They're right-clicking away with the Metamorphosis as well, and all this Abaddon can do is run. Saberlight's right there. Put the spotlight on him because they want to get this kill, but with no stun, no lockdown, he just TPs away.
Spirit definitely needs their supports, especially Coddle to be alive. We saw double Will-O-Wisp in the previous fight. They need Chakra Magic to be used on Lara multiple times. Even if we talk about Chakra Magic on Underlord, could come in pretty handy. These are relatively long, short cooldown abilities. 13-second on Firestorm, 15 on Pit of Malice, but also this Bloodthorn is causing quite a lot of issues dealing with the supports if one of them gets initiated on. There really isn't a save whatsoever, because you have Hand of Midas and you also have Aghanim. No Force Staff Glimmer. Crimson is available on Underlord, but that doesn't seem to be enough.
For the supports, they worked through Collapse. I mean, this Bloodthorn, so strong. Could have a 12,000 net worth lead. They've got an Aegis under their belt. They still give it to Nisha, despite the fact that maybe they wanted it on Terrorblade, but Laurel, sudden, he needs to remnant further away. Nisha's pressuring the tier 2 tower now.
Dire top tower is under attack.
Do against this Aegis on Nisha. This is tough. It's that Manta style.
Dire top tower is under attack.
We can at least get an objective out of the map. Look at the Tormentor.
Not my problem with Dire's top
Spirit
tower
finding
itself.
something. It'll be Shard for Laurel. Pushka's hoping this game goes along with that Midas, but with the pressure and the pace that Liquid have put on, they might just have one and a half fights left.
It's a lot of damage between Nisha and Mickey, and they're ready to take the fight again.
Saberlight's using those boots of travel to come into the fight. They use that Terrorize, they get the kill on a Rue. They do not have a Coddle for 40 seconds. There's no recall, there's no Will-O-Wisp, no Chakra Magic. big parts of this fight for the side of Spirit.
Ooh, not the
Down
best
for
play.
30 seconds.
That didn't block too much of a damage. Laurel sitting on 3,000 gold. To finish off his SNY, that status resistance could come in handy. Liquid, after dealing some of the damage to tier 3 tower in the top lane, they're gonna finish off second tier 2 tower. There's also amplified damage on Nisha. This could be pretty massive. They don't have to rush anything. They're still holding that Aegis for another 3 minutes. They're gonna have another meta available. They're also taking the outpost, so they have something to TP to.
Usually without the amplified damage, you're drumming at a 4-4 speed. With the amplified damage, if I knew music a little bit better, I believe it's 1/8 speed. Quarter notes instead of half notes. All right, guys? All I remember.
Yeah, I'm not really good at it. I know how to listen to music, but that's about it.
Put the headphones in and press play. Lotusaur being built for collapse. They are trying to find anything. They find something. They've got the static storm, but do they have the damage to get the kill before it's over? They do. A good job there by Spirit to at least get something out of the map. While they feel as though they are on the back heels of this game. They find the roar, they look over at Rue, and they will get another kill to the Keeper of the Light. Nisha now unstoppable, but Pudgge is low Sunders. He'll survive for a little bit longer, but nobody is here from the side of Liquid. They will get this kill onto the Terrorblade, and they got the Brewmaster as well, and all of a sudden, Spirit with 2 big kills, they put some life support into this game.
Ooh, they stretch him real nicely. They did go for the bottom kill. Everybody kind of except Mickey did go to the bottom to try to help out. Sure, you got a kill in Roof, but this was a pretty massive kill, and also delaying the high ground push that could potentially come out from Team Liquid. 40 seconds left on that Aegis.
Tier 2 pressured a little bit, but no Terrorblade, no Brewmaster. Have a lot of time with the Aegis, so you gotta farm up. Find maybe an item or two that seals the deal. When you have 2 kills that kind of go that way, pressure's on where it feels like it might slip completely away. And now they go to the Primal Roar, they find themselves Nisha. He's got an Aegis, so that's just the first life, but can they help him out?
Look at collapse immediately.
Nobody's here.
Sure that nobody can get through. And Nisha, the BKB is going to be able to TP out. They needed that extra bit of a damage from under.
Croaker?
He showed himself. Ooh.
That was almost the Croaker Tendrils grief right there. Fiend's Gate, they knew maybe the Croaker's on our side. Stringing again kills together really are making Liquid a bit uneasy.
You really don't feel that much of a difference in net worth, the way Team Spirit is taking the fights. There's a lot of damage over time on their heroes. You have Photic Shield, you have Flame Guard as well, Radiance Burn, level 20, so borrowed time, Immolation DPS, and also Shard picked up on Underlord, so he can use that on one of his allies. He can use that on Radahn, who's going to be running in. And also finishing Harpoon. He feels like he needs to be able to close the gap, be able to go on the heroes. There's a lot of control as well inside of Liquid, so also have some kind of a gap closing item. Usually we see Blink Dagger, but he also feels in this game that he needs a little bit more damage. So compared to the Blink Dagger, it gives you that double hit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack!
Blink Dagger, one of the last items for Abaddon, right?
I think he doesn't want to even get it. He's running out of slots. He has 2 more slots available, and that's going to be Abyssal Blade and Orchid/Bloodborne.
Right.
Spirit, they're in a pretty good spot. Their heroes are getting tankier and tankier. You don't have that Break plus Silence mechanic that can kill Abaddon. You have Underlord, who is super tanky, now with Lotus Orb, relatively elusive, with Ember Spirit, who also finished off BKB, has a Shield Rune in bottle. They're making the same play again in the bottom lane. Saberlight.
He got greedy, went for the greedy wave
this time around.
BKB on the run, Glimpse was used, and Saberlight helped by Croakers.
Immediately, you can see the teams are figuring it out, and on another side, you're also seeing Croakers getting the stuns, but immediately run in. Face of a Griefer again.
Yeah, the face of a Griefer. It reminds me of Star Wars Episode 1, the guy who sells the parts to Anakin. You've seen Star Wars?
Never.
Never
Actually,
seen Episode 1?
I'm big on movies, but never
Radiant's
seen
bottom
Star
tower.
Wars.
I love the pod racers aspect. He's just there. He's trying to, you know, sell some pod racer parts. Annie, why do you know buy? You come, but you know buy.
Too much about Radiant's bottom tower.
That's what I feel like the Croakers are saying. Something along those lines.
Maybe I need to watch it.
It's a good movie. I know a lot of people hate on Episode 1, but banger. Play pod racers for the N64 as well. Switch 2 too expensive. Nintendo 64 still there for me.
That's the guy?
That's the guy! Emil! You come, you know buy! Voila! His name is Watto, I think. Laurel? What's he coming into next? He's going for the Shivas. And then, I mean, Radon, he wants this Bloodthorn, but they've got the Primal Radon and Laurel. Do they have enough for it? You'll wonder, BKB.
They're not even through the shield rune yet.
Hit Malice is down, and now the BKB still working for Laurel. He'll try to get away. Does he? He throws a remnant back, so he'll be safe with BKB being popped by Nisha now. He'll start to walk out of the fight.
BKB also
But a searing chain's not connecting. Glimpse, though, on a mid-gate here.
They want to take this
Fight him a bad way under the static storm, but the impalement arts and hits on a collapse is going to do enough for him. Primal split and a pause. Abaddon.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of Kale. There's a lot of stuff that we do have on the ground. TB with the illusion, spotlights, a lot of circles.
Spells are never squares. They're always circles.
They have very good control area. You have Kinetic Field, you have Pit of Malice. They're also fighting in the high ground. Will-O-Wisp has been used. They want to chase.
They've got the Primal split, the Cyclone up. Laurel, Collapse still moving forward. So is the rest of Team Spirit. They haven't gotten their hands on anybody on Liquid, but another remnant forward from Laurel looking for an option with a Sleight of Fist Searing Chain. Saberlight's got some time left on this Primal split. Earth Panda goes back, and they want to get out of the range of the glimpse. They'll Void Panda pull the Earth Panda towards safety. Nisha immediately towards top.
Shield Rune really making the difference there. Shield Rune, he gets his Flame Guard. They throw Solar Crest on top of him, so all of these barriers, you're not going to be able to go through them. Roshan, alive in the bottom pit. Guaranteed to respawn within 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Only the second Roche coming up, which is a little bit of a surprise. We talked about the delay that Liquid had in that first Aegis. Lines up at 35 minutes. Nisha wants level 25, so he's going to take the one on the side of Liquid. Last one had gotten stolen by Collapse. He used that Fiend's Gate, which is on cooldown, so he's unable to do that. Have a lot of control already for Team Spirit. You get to a point where Collapse gets that Ags and has that Pit of Malice on Fiend's Gate. You get that extra control. You don't use the Fiend's Gate to go all that far. You line up the Venn diagram and just have all this control point.
Even more circles that are going to come out. El.Pudgge sitting on 3,000 gold for now, just keeping the buyback, but his next item is going to be Aghanim Scepter. He doesn't have anything queued up yet, but this is the item that can give you that kill threat on the heroes. Have BKB available, but with Hand of Midas, a couple of extra minutes. They take one good fight, 2 extra Hand of Midas usages. Is going to give him that egg.
He doesn't have it queued up, so I don't know if he's going for it. Can't come in.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a bigger item that he can buy.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's why he decided to go for Midas.
BKB at a Saberlight. Net worth has been dropping at a steady pace for Liquid. Roche is going to be up right now. So second Roche available, no BKB on Saberlight.
Up to half HP and definitely be killed.
It's a Primal split if they want to start the fight with that. They'll look for the spotlight. Laurel and Yatoro towards the front. Sleight of Fist Searing Chains both hitting onto the illusions. The Bramble Maze is there. Hunts him up for a moment, and they also throw over that silence from the Terrorblade with the Bloodthorn on Alaro for a moment, too. Double Lotus Orb for the side of Spirit. They've got Rue, who's got one now. Fiend's Gate, Pit of Malice. And now that'll force the Primal Split out of Saberlight. Kind of putting up position where Liquid need to fight. They're up on the high ground for Spirit with a Pit of Malice on the steps, so it's almost impossible for them to get up there cleanly.
That's been Team Spirit tactic. Hold the high ground, not allow them to get through it. That has been used. This is the opportunity for Team Spirit to go inside a pit. They have more than enough sustain coming out from Keeper of the Light. Their heroes are super tanky. Bloodthorn also available. Can use that, get that extra bit of a damage.
Like they're just conceding it. This Roche going to Team Spirit. Aegis, a banner.
Boy, Morty, you know that Roche here guy just got killed by Dire. He owed me money.
Liquid was expecting with the advantage that they had early on.
Liquid is in a lot of trouble. This 6k gold lead at this point of the game doesn't mean anything. Get pulled in, but no Basher yet.
Surviving. Thriving. Nisha halfway to that level 25. Abaddon going into the Bloodthorn for the first time on this hero. Yeah, he's 20 the way through that level. He's looking into the Daedalus, which he's just about to have if he wants to buy out. You can see things pretty close overall. About a 2,000 net worth difference between the heroes. Adam, though, with his team and all smoked up. Lord's gonna show in lane, but he's got that Fiend's Gate ready to go. Nothing to worry about. Having him joining the fight, they want him farming, and he's got that axe. So they'll have that Fiend's Gate to drop on fights immediately, force the BKBs with the Fiend's Gate Pit of Malice around it. And that's going to make these fights so much harder for Liquid.
And I also like that he's going back the road of Atos/Gleipnir to make the AoE of his spells bigger by 75, which really means a lot. It's a good amount of AoE damage to deal with the Whirlings, just to deal with DB illusions. Tower has been killed for a very long time in the bottom lane. But this Underlord is now online. When you look at his score, it doesn't really say much how the game has been going, 1-6 and 4, but overall, he is more farmed. The top 3 in terms of net worth are so far ahead than the middle pack.
They're over the bottom side of these trees. They go to the Primal Roar with the drum song going. He's trying to drum to victory. They've got the Team of the Beast, the Fear of the Two. They get the kill on Aru. He's going to be out with no buyback. BKB still going. And Malice down. Collapsing some trouble with the right click down. Coming up from Mickey. They get the kill there. They'll at least take out the Underlord. Comes back though on Nisha. They'll take out the first life from this Abaddon. And they might be able to control him again for a second.
Borrow time.
Oh, Yatoro. So much trouble for him, but can borrow time. He's cycloned up into the air. The Bramble Maze is placed perfectly, and they will kill him a second time with no buyback. Liquid with a great fight to hold on to this lead.
Nisha, he blinks in. Him and Terrorblade being paired up together, getting their Ravage. Getting those right clicks in, because they were also buying all of the items pretty much. So you had DB, Daedalus available with Bloodthorn. This is the pretty much most damage items you can get. And I'm looking at Boxy's items. He's going for Aghanim Scepter. Boxy is also one of the guys that wants to be able to scale, but yeah, catching Rue off guard immediately is going to make a lot of difference because he wants that Chakra Magic multiple times. And this time around, Spirit, they're not holding the high ground, which makes a lot of difference in the fights.
These pits are able to pinch areas, pinch the steps. You can't cleanly get into the fights, but there's a lot of space there that allows them to wrap around or go around and find entry points to win a fight like that. Saberlight, he's also level 24 here with Mickey. You've got Nisha, who did hit that level 25 and goes to the minus 30-second Primal Roar cooldown. He could be slamming, he could be drumming, he could be looking like Ringo Starr.
Middle tower just took a big
tier 3 over mid. Saberlight.
Dire's middle barracks are...
Use that Primal Split, we'll have it on cooldown. another 45 seconds or
They're
so.
going after Tiger's bottom tower.
Droid almost hating them, wanting them to jump him in the middle of this lane. Get him off the high ground. That's their opportunity, the way that they've been winning these fights.
In core, very high level on him as well.
Doing a lot of damage here with this axe now. Pressure for Nisha.
There's a lot of items on Team
BKB.
Liquid. Just came out. Blade also level 25, so Thunder cooldown, which brings it down to 10 seconds. This is the big one. This is the massive one. Allows you to get multiple kills, survive most of the time. But yeah, wanted to say thing about Boxy back in the Alliance days when he was carrying, when they were Alliance squad, he was carrying the game on Dark Willow so many times. But for this Aghanim Scepter, he also feels that the game might be longer, so opting to go for the big item. El.Pudgge, he's ready to go. Aghanim Scepter completed on him. Level 18. 7.5 seconds with that Static Storm.
Throws it immediately. Try to get the kill on Nisha. He doesn't have a Aegis, so it's that easy. They get this kill, they'll look for Insania. He's going to try and jump away, but they stick with him. A Remnant forward, that's 2 kills. You've given up 2. You do not have buyback available on Nisha, and you're going to lose a 3rd. Boxy falls, no buyback, and Spirit again, just kind of searching the map and finding what they need, especially with this Ags coming through from this disruptor.
This Aghanim Scepter. This is probably one of the best Aghanim Scepters upgrades in the game. It does allow you to mute the items, AoE, and also we talk about circles a lot. There's so many that they can throw on the ground, like Pit of Malice can also be your setup for your ulti so that they can't get out of it. Saberlight has BKB. He does have Ogre Seal Totem as well.
Stick with him for 20 seconds and get the disruptor there. Static Storm him, but they force the Primal Split once again. That'll be on a cooldown for 85 seconds. 25 Cinder Brew applies Fear when ignited.
Yeah, Clinton Loomis mechanic is very strong. We had that on Queen of Pain when she was level 25. We're like, we'll TP out. Abba, not close enough. He does have Basher available.
Swift Blink next for Mickey. You get this Swift Blink, you got to think about like straight Axe Blessing, right? Have that Terra Wave and have that ability to throw Fear out there, maybe giving yourself a split second to react.
Right now, he wants to keep the buyback.
Right.
Once he finishes off his big item, and that's that Swift Blink that you mentioned. So if he doesn't have buyback available,
the one who does is the Ringmaster on Liquid. So precarious position for Liquid on a fight that without buyback could end the game. Get the second glyph back where they can glyph the tier 3 and then glyph after the melee racks. I'd say they'd hold on after a fight, and I don't think this fight's going to happen without an Aegis, so they should be okay to hold that time off. Okay. However, they need to get the next Aegis. Team has gone from that 11k lead that they just had back down to 5,000 after giving up 3. And they are starting to hit some critical mass here on Spirit. Look at all these Ogre Seal Totems on Liquid. 4 out of 5.
it is my favorite item. It allows you to go in, get out of the fight when nothing else works. Great against Nullifier as well. And we saw also Saberlight, Collapse going with the idea of what he wants to buy, whether he needs Nullifier, whether he wants to pick up bigger AoE on his spells. Seems like Nullifier is going to be idea, so there's not going to be box available. So if they are trying to focus down the target during Static Storm, he wants to make sure that there's not going to be a save.
No box.
Yeah.
So, continue to farm waiting for this Aegis. How long is the... A minute and a half-ish, if I had to guess off the clock. They're grouping up here for Spirit, knowing that Roche is potentially up. They find anybody as Liquid, they set up for Roche, but just don't really know when the timing is, and kind of need to protect this area for the entirety of the time. Shield rune in the bottle for Nisha. That's going to be quite a bit of extra effective HP for him in a fight. Here used by El.Pudgge. Some vision, maybe catch somebody on Liquid out the way they have time and time again. They actually take vision away from the side of Liquid, and Laurel. Quite a fist spots Saberlight. It's closing in on 25 too.
They don't have that like instant lockdown other than Basher, or they need to land Static Storm like they did in the previous fight to be able to kill the hero, lock him down with Nullifier. Sure, they want to play slightly longer fights. They know that if these roars, if Primal Split is used meta as well, maybe they can disengage and then take the fight, because their heroes are difficult to kill, at least cores. Supports, they don't have many defense items. There's El.Pudgge, has Solar Crest, there's Lotus Orb on Keeper of the Light, but if he's the one getting jumped, he's definitely gonna die.
We've seen that being the target for Nisha a lot. Go for Rune. Take out this Coddle. There's just so much circular control. Will-O-Wisp, the Pin of Malice is not only with the ability, but with the Axe now. And Big Field, Static Storm that you said is 7+ seconds with the Axe upgrade to it. It's so difficult to fight. You only have BKB for so long here for Liquid. The fights have to be fast. You have to take the supports out early. That's what they're going to do. They go here for the disruptor. They'll get the kill on El.Pudgge. They see themselves in the tunnel. There's the Invisible. They got the lockdown on Nisha for a moment. There's the Nullifier used on him with BKB, but he's trying to run away. They try and find themselves room. The damage coming up from BKB. Both supports going to be dead on the side of Spirit. They both have buyback. El.Pudgge already used his. He's got Static Storm at the ready, but with those two kills, are Liquid looking for more, or will they back up towards Roche immediately?
Liquid realizing what the problem is. Take out these two supports. Next fight, they're going to be able to kill El.Pudgge, maybe get that jump. If he doesn't get the Static Storm off, that's a lot of control that they do have, a lot of damage that they want to put pumping, especially because he also has that level 20 talent. Static Field, lower cooldown. They're in. Mickey's going to pick it up.
He just picked up by Mickey. Buyback used here by the Kano. They're going to find their hands around Saberlight. Pops that BKB early. Uses that Ogre Seal Totem to get away. He doesn't have the Primal Split. The Nullifier thrown on him by Collapse. Ogre Seal Totem to catch up to Saberlight, but he's just too quick. Had that glimpse, just don't find anybody to pull back. Recalling and bring in Collapse. They look potentially for Mickey, who is not going immediately back to base, and there it is. There's the TP back all the way home. He's now looking for that Axe Blessing. He's probably going to need the whole Blessing to really be able to purchase Size. No slots left, really. And he's got BKB with an Aegis that he'd have to swap in. And to find themselves Laurel. Hearing its way, they get down to El.Pudgge. Does that buyback? He needs to be careful, but the silence is on the mid game. He's in trouble. He'll end up dead. The first one's going to be out of his hands. Seal Totem collapse up onto the high ground. There's the Pin of Malice. Saberlight, though, up here with Nisha. They've got the field. They'll get the kill to take a collapse, and they don't have Brew. That's two heroes without buyback.
Ooh, Collapse with no buyback. That's a big one. Team Liquid, they should try to go and check what's going to happen on the high ground. El.Pudgge managing to survive. That's pretty big. Static Storm's going to be available in 15 seconds, but Team Liquid, knowing that there is no buyback available on Keeper of the Light, they're going to poke and see what's going to happen. Underlord, Justin has his, but only time when we're smarter than the players, than these e-gamers that are playing the video game, where we can actually see the buyback status and Roche respawn timer. Okay, gotta go for the high ground.
It's the tier 3. There's still that bottom tier 3, tier 2, and the center axe there.
The BKB
from
3 seconds. With Heroes of Spirit, this is 3 versus 5. Liquid realizing that they don't have to go through the bottom lane. 30 seconds.
Oh, they're going tier 4s.
Ready for Spirit.
They gotta make a move here on Spirit. They just don't have the Underlord. Eventually, they're gonna have to go. They'll use this terribly to try and go in. They've got Static Storm on him. The Renin away. Do they have Laurel enough time to get out? He sighted this once more. But control row. He's in the fear, though. It connects on Laurel. They've got the wheel. Wonder they get the kill. Laurel, he doesn't have fire. He's dead for 99. There's the Sunder on the return. They get the kill there, too. The Glyph. But it's not looking like it's enough time. Just El.Pudgge is alive. The damage will overwhelm the throne, and game 1 will go to Team Liquid.
Team Liquid, very crisp start of this series. This is Team Spirit's first loss in the tournament, so showing that they can bleed. And Team Liquid, they drafted themselves a very good draft.